We're not in any way saying there aren't examples of that or aren't very real times that it exists, but to paint with the broad brush of every child is a trauma victim is not fair to them. And also, I think that one thing that I'm genuinely curious from an educator's perspective and having experience working in the school system and in school policy for so long. I just don't understand why we would not want to push our kids to succeed. Like why we would want teachers to just, I don't know, cushion their lives so much when in reality, everybody, I mean, you can't tell me that a teacher doesn't look at like a player in the NFL and not think it took a lot of hard work to get there. And there were going to be some painful days and some days that person wanted to quit, but they stuck to it and they made it through and pushed through and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All just that basic concept. We're robbing children of a potential by not giving them high expectations and not allowing them to rise to them.
Yeah.
And why is that being pushed? I just don't. Why are teachers buying it?
Well, and actually, now that you get me to reflect on it, if you think about it, who are teachers? By and large, teachers are those who enjoyed school. They were good at it. They had fun. They were successful. They want to, share what they know. So, I was a B student on my best days. So I'm probably a lot more typical of the students that we're trying to reach and teach in American schools than those straight A students who, for whom it came easy. So I mean, I don't want to be glib here, but I assume that's a large measure of it. In other words, this is fun, this is easy, so I want to make it fun and easy for you, because school should be fun and easy. Well, it's not. Okay, learning is work. I love your comparison to the NFL because you're right. It's so funny. We education professionals tend to look down their noses at coaches. Like, oh, they're not real teachers. Well, some of the best teachers I've ever met have been coaches for exactly the reasons that you just described, because they tell you that it is hard and they make you work. And if you don't perform, you sit. Okay, these are hard lessons to learn, but they're valuable lessons to learn. Okay, I use my own daughter as an example. My daughter had the benefit of very good schools in New York City, elite schools even, where frankly nobody ever told her, that she wasn't good enough. But she was also a competitive athlete. So she played volleyball at a high level for 7 years, and she was an unusually tall little girl. So she was a starter for most of the first couple of years, and then suddenly the rest of the kids got to be tall and accomplished, and suddenly she had to really fight for her position on the roster. To this and when I think back, and frankly, my wife hates when I say this out loud in public. I think of the money we spent on her school, and I think like, what really had the formative experience on her? Was it her education or her involvement in sports? It was sports, and it's not even close. This young lady has I'm bragging on my daughter. She has a work ethic that would reduce me to tears, and she did not get that from her elite schools. She got it by learning the lessons of the volleyball court.
That is those lessons. And I think you can learn them in schools. I think you can learn it in academics, but when we don't hold our kids to high standards, that just makes me sad, because I was a good student. I loved school. I love learning. I absolutely love learning. I'm very curious and love to learn about all the things. And it just makes me sad that kids don't
Okay, can
when
I add something here, Missy?